Got a treat for you today. We got a really cool Cimarron 8-horse that we're going to walk you through. I feel like this is one of the best setup 8-horses and trainer type trailers you can get out there on the market today. But on top of that, we've got a real treat for you. The world famous Ben Janssen, president of Cimarron Trailers, is joining us here this morning.
Thank
Ben,
you.
good to see you.
Well, it's good to be here. I'm not sure about the world famous part, but
no, you are.
The President Cimarron's accurate, you bet. So we're excited to be here today and hang out with your group and celebrate a beautiful day in Colorado.
That's right. So while Ben was here, we thought, hey, let's grab him and walk you through this 8-horse. We videoed this trailer before, but again, we've got Ben here. He can help us walk through this trailer a little bit more. These trainer trailers, can't keep them, it seems like right now.
Well, just the popularity of them, the functionality of them, I mean, we've really got them dialed in. I feel like a lot of great feedback from our customers and our dealers. We've been building trainer trailers, for several years, but the popularity of them has really increased the last couple of years, and a lot of the design ideas we've come up here with you guys together and created, and feedback from customers, it's helped incorporate it in this design that's worked well.
Absolutely. So before we kind of jump into it, we're going to go ahead and show you the drawing of this trailer. Again, it's a Cimarron 8-horse. It's a 2022. What we're talking is 36 foot on the floor. This is an 8-wide trailer, and we went a little bit taller as well. We went 7.4 on this. We're going to walk you through all the different tack and all the different storage options on this trailer as we walk through it. But let's just kind of start underneath here, the gooseneck. This size of a trailer, why would we not do the dual jacks on this one?
Right.
Ben?
Well, the size, the length, and then everything that's going to be stored in here. I mean, these trainer trailers are getting a lot of tack in here, a lot of hay. If you're a trainer, you've got customers' tack and hauling all their stuff. So all that weight, the stability with two dual hydraulics is the way to go.
Yeah,
for sure.
And let's be honest, we wouldn't want to hand crank this thing up and down.
No, forget that.
It's a lot easier to push a button and up and down it can go. Yeah. And the cool thing is with the dual switches, if you're off just a little bit when you back underneath it, you can kind of manipulate it and walk it onto the truck itself.
You can play with that and get it on the ball of the truck.
Absolutely. So the other thing we have underneath here is you'll notice we've got our aluminum battery box. Now, standard now on the 22 models is the battery disconnect.
Yeah.
That was something that we were doing on everything with a hydraulic jack, but now that's a standard option because it's nice to just kill everything.
It is, and we have our standard models on trailers, and we have this list of options, and then we keep watching the options, and if they become repetitive, let's build that into the standard model so we don't forget it, and it's just there. I mean, things continue to evolve, and if it's the right thing to do, you put it into the standard model. So.
Absolutely. So that's all located right in there. And then over here to the right of that, we've got our onboard compressor for our air ride system. This is a triple axle air ride trailer. We'll talk a little bit more about that when we get kind of back to the axles about that, but it's real simple to use. It's on, off, it's raised and lower, and then clearing the lines. We've done some how-to videos on how to operate it. It's very, very simple to use.
Very simple to use. It really makes this trailer ride so well and just kind of float back there. You can watch it in your mirrors. I've got it on my own trailer and just love the ride that it gives the trailer. It feels better when you're towing the vehicle or towing that trailer. And the animals, of course, less stress on them too.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So we'll keep working through this. So on this one here, we went ahead and just did a front dressing room on this trailer. Nothing over the top. I mean, we've got the ability to have a clothes rod in there. We've carpeted everything, so everything's just, we're not having anything rub against the wall, against that aluminum. Battery box, just some additional storage. Nothing over the top on this. But again, plenty of storage. We understand you're going to be hauling a lot of stuff in there.
Yeah, trainers, you're hauling a lot of times your customers' tack or show equipment as well, all those different shirts, outfits, hat boxes. And like I said, it's got the full-length clothes barn there, all carpeted, so nothing's going to rub on anything and have those marks. And there's also a lot that you can still do. If a customer wanted to buy this off the yard, you could add shelves in here. You can add more hooks, but it's a great place to build from right here. So a lot of storage in a compact area in this trailer. Length is important, but we really, in this whole design, you've got a lot of storage built into it.
Yeah. And on these 8-wide trailers, I mean, we really try to incorporate these fold-up steps on about everything in inventory that we carry, just because it is so popular, so many people like it. But with this one being 8-wide with no running board, it makes a big difference there.
For sure,
so,
just convenience.
Yeah, you'll notice them kind of throughout the trailer. And then also on this, we've gone in and done the combo locks on these tack doors. And that's what's really cool is if you're traveling with a lot of people and you got to send somebody back to the trailer to grab something, who has the keys? It's real simple to just have that combo lock.
Code, right.
Send them, give them the code, and they can get into all these.
Yeah, so much easier than handling keys. And just remember that code. And you guys can personalize that code per customer when they buy the trailer.
Yeah. And then behind it, we've actually got a hay room. So, I mean, we can go in, we can add a hay rack or a pod to this trailer if we wanted, but if you want to keep everything a little bit more convenient down here ground level, loading and unloading, you have this hay room or additional storage as well.
Right. Yeah, we've designed this room this size, worked with your group for years now, and this will hold on average 15 bales, 2-string bales, or probably 10 to 12 3-string bales if you're on the West Coast. But being able to load this hay on a ground level rather than crawling on top of the trailer.
Yeah.
Put all your hay in here, keep it dry, and keep it easy to get to versus getting on top of the trailer. And without that hay rack, it makes it a little more dynamic and easier to pull.
Absolutely.
Like I said, though, if you do want to add a hay rack or hay pod, you've got plenty of axle and tire capacity, so you could add a hay rack to this and use this for additional storage.
Yeah. So maybe it's some feed you're hauling with you, some totes,
right.
bedding,
buckets,
anything like that. I mean, it kind of the sky's the limit there on that room there.
For sure.
Yeah.
So.
And then as we worked back, so over the years, in these bigger trainer trailers, we kind of always had the drop windows on head side with stock sides and plexiglass on tail side. And it was actually a customer that I worked with a couple years back. We actually took a trailer that was on order. He wanted the drop windows every other with the bus windows. We made that change, and then moving forward, we just kind of kept those options on this setup anyway.
Right. We can build them both ways. You know, like you said, start out the air gaps, and that's the great thing about Cimarron. We can build a trailer a lot of different ways, how customers want it. You know, our customers down south, they like that stock side maybe a little bit more. Customers up here want to be able to close that thing up weather tight. Yeah. But with those extra drop downs, you can get that ventilation in the summer. But as that weather changes quickly, you know, especially this time of year, it can be 30 one day and then 70 the next. You can change this out faster. So.
Yeah. So on this tail side here, we have drop windows every other with bus windows every other. We can do buses all the way down. We can do drops all the way down. Again, anything we want there.
Right. For sure.
Now this is an option that we've been doing at Transwest over about the last 2 years. We feel like on these bigger trailers, having this amber turn signal here in the middle, these are big trailers. And we say it time and time again, a lot of people don't pay attention to us pulling trailers. So we like this from the standpoint is it will indicate when you turn your blinker on, when you hit your brake, and it works as an additional marker light as well.
It's a great safety feature. Like I said, you get in these high traffic areas, all these cities, and people that have never pulled trailers or drove a semi, and there's a lot of them out there, they don't recognize how much stopping time it takes or how much time it takes you to get from lane to lane with these big trailers. So anything we can do to make it safer for everybody is a great thing.
Yeah, so we'd like to incorporate this amber turn signal on our 8-wide trailers, our living quarters, or these bigger trailers like this. Yep. And like you mentioned on the semis, I mean, they've got these, you know, in the middle, whether it's a flatbed or a box type trailer, van trailer, you'll see a lot of these on those trailers as well. Yep. So that's a small option that we go ahead and put on our trailers here at Transwest. And I mean, we can do them on anything, but that's one thing we incorporate quite a bit on our inventory trailers.
Sure.
So here we are at the axles.
Yep.
This is, in my opinion, this is what really sets this trailer apart. Yes, it's an 8-horse. It's got a lot of storage and tack, but the running gear under this trailer is phenomenal.
It's something you're never going to have to worry about going on the road. You've got 3 8,000-pound air ride axles here, so 24,000 pounds of axle capacity, the 19.5 tires and wheels. These things are a highway commercial tire, so I think they're rated around 6,000 pounds a piece. Plenty of capacity there. Many miles of use on these. We've had these on the road for several years and get high mileage out of them. But you know, years and years ago, people probably tried to skimp on axles and tires or try to save some money there, and it's simply not worth it. No. It's not worth being on the side of the road with a flat tire because you tried to save a couple $100 up front. Yeah. You've got 8 horses here that probably in total cost more than this trailer if you're a trainer. The last thing you want to sacrifice on is tires and wheels and axles.
Yeah. And then we did the spread axle on this one.
Right.
So you have triple axle spread. The spread axle is going to help with weight distribution, the way this trailer pulls, taking some tongue weight off. It just is going to pull phenomenal going down the road.
Absolutely. Get more of the trailer balance on those axles and take some of that tongue weight off the tow vehicle. You know, these 1-ton trucks continue to get more capacity ratings to them. The 450s, the 5500s. I mean, you don't have to have the big truck to pull this 8-horse.
Yeah, so. Absolutely. And then kind of dress it up with the Alcoas. I mean, I think it just tops this trailer off by giving a good look to it as well. And then when we're talking about that air ride, we'll get into a little bit more about what we do on the air ride when we get to the other side of the trailer, because there's something we do here at Transwest on this triple axle. But you know, air ride, just talk to customers nowadays that have these newer systems. Some people have had some bad experiences with the older air rides where you couldn't move anywhere if you had an issue, an air leak or a bag issue, something along those lines. But if we have an issue on this trailer, what happens, Ben?
Well, if you lose air, if an airline breaks, your compressor goes out, you're still on torsion axles. So you're like all 90+% of the other trailers on the road. You can still get to the next show, you can get home, you're not stuck on the side of the road. That can be repaired, the air ride can be repaired when you get a chance. But they've really been a great system. We've been using these Dexter Airflex axles since I think about 2012-13 time period. We've worked with them to continue to improve them, and they've really got a phenomenal system now.
Yeah. And again, if you're talking to some customers that have been pulling these new air ride trailers, in my opinion, the most consistent feedback I get is I will never pull another trailer without that air ride.
Yeah.
And then, like you mentioned, the amount of money that more than likely is on this trailer, in my opinion, yes, there is an initial cost to go with these air rides. There is. But think about how many head you're hauling, how many miles you're hauling, how many shows you're going to. You spread that out over the life that you own in this trailer, and it is a minimal expense. And why would you not do it, in my opinion?
Yeah, it's definitely an upgrade up front, but you won't regret it. Reducing the stress on the horses or the livestock if it's a cattle or pig trailer. You see that recovery time faster once they get there. They're fresh, they're ready to go, rather than having to lay over an extra day or two at a show to get them back in condition to perform. I've got air ride on my personal trailer. Had some friends of ours that sold their Cimarron this summer and needed a trailer to go to a junior national show. They borrowed my trailer. They had another Cimarron on order. They came back and upgraded air ride after using the air ride on my trailer. So that was just wonderful. So.
Yep, absolutely. So, and we'll take a step back. There's plenty of lights on this.
Yep.
The button lights are now standard on the 22 models.
Button lights are standard. Obviously, you added some extra lights to this trailer, but why not?
Yeah, exactly.
You want it to be lit going down the road, so it looks good.
Sure. And then you've got your awning lights, so you have light coverage, over that front tack room, that front hay room, kind of back here, middle, kind of over the axles. So we try to incorporate, lights throughout this trailer itself.
Right.
Now as we get to the back of this trailer, we did a ramp over the single door, which we'll show you why we did that here in a little bit. But boy, nice, big, inviting space to jump into.
Right,
here.
so a lot of these trainers are hauling younger horses. I mean, if you're a cutter, reiner, you're probably working your 2-year-olds, 3-year-olds as you're going to the shows, you're hauling them along to get more coverage. Anytime you can have a larger opening on a trailer, the horses are more inviting to load. Also, a little bit different layout on this slant, right?
Yes.
Our traditional slant load trailers have a 48-inch offset or a 4 foot on that angle. We've changed this, it's gone to a 24-inch offset, so those stalls are a little bit more, they're not straight across the trailer, but less angle.
Yeah.
We can get more horses in a shorter length of trailer with that design, and there's still plenty of room in there for the horses.
Yeah.
A lot of these 8-wide trailers on that 4 foot offset, those horses have got plenty of stall. But looking at the size of horses today and really working to try to design the right trailer, we've changed that offset on this model, and it's really been received well.
Absolutely. And I like how you mentioned that about, the stall size itself. Now, because we're running 888s, if we were to go to a tandem axle underneath this trailer here, we're looking at 9s and 10s, which means more wheel well in the stall area.
Right, exactly. This big a trailer, you need either 2 9,000 or 2 10,000 pound axles or the 3/8s. And those 9 and 10K axles, while they do have that big capacity, it takes up a larger fender well, which is that inside area there. With the 8,000, it's still kind of a minimal size and still leaves enough floor space for the horses to stand correctly.
Yep, absolutely. So let's check this out. We've got everything open here. In this one here, we optioned on the very first 2 stalls. Normally you see it in stall 1, we've got the stud divider. But in this trailer here, we went ahead for our first and second divider, we went ahead and did the stud divider in there. I mean, you're running a lot of head. It's just nice to have that ability to have two in case you are needing those, utilize those stalls.
Yeah, you never know. With all these horses, you might have a couple that maybe aren't friendly to the others, need their own space. These dividers, you know, they don't have pads on them. You guys inventory a lot of trailers without pads, but you can always add pads here in your shop, and that's kind of a customer preference thing. But with your capacity here at the shop, you guys keep them here, and you can always add them to them if somebody wants them.
That's right. A lot of stuff can be done after the fact on these, even on these custom trailers.
Yep.
One thing that I always like to point out when I'm walking through your trailers is everything's smooth. Everything has a radius. You guys put a lot of emphasis on horse safety, animal safety, depending on what trailer and model it is. But I really like that aspect of that. You know, the recessed, you know, flush wall mount slam latches. They're real easy to operate. But again, nothing's protruding out.
Right. Everything, you try to design it safe, first of all, for the horses and then also for the operators, right? You want things easy to use, one hand. It's not like you have to pull a lever and do a pin.
Exactly.
You know, horses and livestock, you're always leading one or carrying something. So the more things we can design user-friendly, one-handed, the better it is for the person using the trailer. And like you said, the safety, the radiuses. I mean, we're working with livestock here and horses. Why not build it safe? I mean, that goes into the design. So in a Cimarron, you see lots of radiuses. That's from day one, you know, that was incorporated into the Cimarron design. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And like you said, the one hand just use of everything. You know, none of these dividers are snapped back. They all have the big spring in the bottom that's literally holding them against the driver's side of this trailer. And we're actually tipped towards passenger side. But that big spring you guys utilize underneath there is literally holding everything against those mangers.
Yeah.
So we're not having to hold the divider like Ben was saying, you know, trying to lead horses in and off and then dropping a pin. It's really easy to use there.
Absolutely. So, and we try to keep everything quiet as we can too. So there's a lot of things in some of our latches that have a plastic bushing inside of it. We use UHMW, which is a very high dense plastic in the latch itself. So there's no metal to metal contact there. This is a cast aluminum piece that we actually have powder coated, so the aluminum's not rubbing off on the horses, and then that UHMW latch inside of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, the floor we're standing on.
The floor.
Tell us a little bit about that, because I think that is another, just one more aspect that sets Cimarron apart.
So the Cimarron floor, and I know you've done it in some of your other videos, but it's a tongue and groove floor. They're 12-inch wide aluminum extrusions that run across the trailer with what we call a V hollow in the center of it. Basically, it has a support every 4 inches underneath where we're standing. So if you can imagine a horse's hoof, the size of a horse's hoof, it's always going to be standing on a support. Some of our competitors in the market space, they use I-beams on 9 to 12-inch centers and then use aluminum sheets on top of that. Over time, as you get more miles on that trailer and more wear and tear, you can eventually get dips between those I-beams, and you see that in used trailers.
Absolutely.
That's why it's been really important for people to clean those floors, to keep urine from pooling those dips. But our floor with the 4-inch supports, or supports every 4 inches, and then that V hollow in it, makes the strongest floor in the industry. I mean, our trailers hardly even twist because of the robustness of our floor.
And I always like to tell people, I mean, if you want to see quality of an aluminum trailer, just crawl underneath it and look at the floor. That's where it all starts. It all starts from there up. As you, like Ben said, those centers, as they start spreading apart, in my opinion, that's just not as well built of a trailer. Again, it becomes, all of these aluminum trailers, it's important to pull mats, wash them out, clean them, take care of them. I mean, it's a tool. You got to take care of it. But those, again, it is even more important, in my opinion, like you were saying, once those dips and waves and pits start happening, again, that's where that urine can pool.
And we don't see as much of that in our, or really any in our trailers. And the extruded aluminum is not as porous as aluminum sheet. So it's a stronger aluminum. It's a 6,000 alloy aluminum. It's more corrosion resistant than a 5,000 alloy sheet on some of the competitors. But our floor is the first thing you see when you walk into our plant building trailers. I mean, the first thing when you walk in the doors, we're building the floor of our trailer, and it's right there. And that's the foundation of how Cimarron's built, is the floor structure.
Absolutely. And I mean, it's a cooler morning here, but you can tell, I mean, with the big drop windows that we'll show you, these drop windows and the bus windows on tail side, I mean, there's a nice cool breeze coming through here. Again, you can then incorporate your two-way roof vents. You can manipulate airflow quite a bit in here, just creating a comfortable space for the horses. But we also have an insulated roof on this trailer. It's standard on all Cimarrons.
Every Cimarron trailer has the insulated roof, 1/2 inch thick, R3 thermal value to the roof. Makes it a cooler environment here for the horses or cattle, livestock in the summer, warmer in the winter. Most of our competitors use aluminum skin roof. That lets heat transfer right through there. Our roof is white on the top, so it's going to reflect that sunlight. Really gives that whole insulated presence to the trailer, making it quieter because it's not rattling like aluminum up there, and more comfortable for the livestock. Again, reducing stress on them.
Yeah, and I like you mentioned that. That's on every single Cimarron.
Yeah.
So is that floor. I mean, you guys, you guys build the trailers the same. Doesn't matter if it's a smaller bumper pull or one of these big trainer trailers or a big living quarters.
Right. The structure is the same. The roof is the same. Those are Cimarron fundamentals there.
Absolutely, absolutely. So as you can see, just a really cool setup. I mean, again, you've got plenty of roof vents in here as well. You've got the LED lights. Everything's on an individual switch, so plenty of light coverage. We understand you're going to be loading and unloading at night. At times, it does happen. So with this single door, you notice this little small area right back there as far as the wall goes. And let me open this up. And it's because right here at the back is the start of our mangers. Now we'll kind of walk you through this. I want to get a good look at all these drop windows first, then we'll shut it up and give you a good look at all these mangers. But there's a absolute ton of storage on this trailer itself.
You've got basically 8.5 stalls worth of manger space here. So all that equipment you need once you get there, your water buckets, your feed buckets, the blankets, the extra feed. I mean, so much materials in here, the stall decorations, and really load those mangers full.
And one of the things that I always hear from customers is I've got a 6-horse, I want to go to a 7-horse or an 8-horse. It's gonna, you know, I can't put enough stuff in that. It's amazing. They'll get this trailer and they'll fill this up too. It never ceases to amaze me. Well, but you have the capability to put a lot of stuff on this trailer when you go into the shows. And some of these shows you're there for, I mean, some shows are there weeks, so you have to carry a lot of stuff with you.
Yeah, they're carrying a lot of tack, a lot of equipment, a lot of people, the trailer this size. You've got your show equipment, you know, that's going to stay in the trailer, and then you've got your barn equipment at home, right?
Absolutely.
So there's some stuff that's going to stay in here. All those stall fans for the summer shows, the water buckets, feed buckets, the extra vet kit, you know, that might stay in the trailer.
Absolutely.
Some of the tack's going to come in and out, but there's some equipment that'll probably stay in this trailer. And just be used at shows.
That's, in my opinion, that's where those hydraulic jacks come back into play. Again, it's not like we just completely emptied it out and now let's hand crank it off. You're going to leave some stuff in here which adds that weight to it, so running those jacks up and down real simple. But as you can see, big drop windows all the way down this trailer with the big heavy-duty jail bars as well that'll fold down. But I absolutely love big framed windows. I am not a fan of prefab windows. They're real lightweight. I feel like they're almost like paper in your hands, but these are just massive.
Yeah, all these doors on this trailer are built in-house at Cimarron. We don't buy feed doors and from other companies. There are suppliers that specialize and do that. Cimarron, we've always built our own doors, and that's what we're going to continue to do. There's other companies that choose to buy their doors rather than build them, but we build all this in-house with our craftsmen. We can control how those are built, the size they need to be, and the workmanship. I mean, all this is aluminum welded in our shop. Our people back at Cimarron, hinges that are welded on with grease zerks on every hinge. And we've got a brass pin inside there, so we don't have, you know, aluminum on aluminum there. And then we grease all those where you can keep them greased for years, just like a good piece of farm equipment, a good John Deere tractor. I mean, you got to keep things working for years. So all this is built in-house, and we can build any size of door that we need to.
And that's really important too, because I mean, just from a maintenance standpoint, I mean, it's real simple to maintain by you guys having those grease zerks actually on the hinges themselves.
We've continued to evolve our hinges over the years. They've got a grease track built into them. That pin has a grease groove in it, so we can get that lubricated all the way top to bottom.
Absolutely. Now, this is a real small option that you guys have done, but you've incorporated it here recently. But that's that drip rail that goes above the windows and doors.
Yeah, we made that design change about 15 months ago. We wanted to get that water away from these doors, so if you see that top extrusion has that little ledge in it above that door, that allows that water to come down and then shoot away from the door rather than trying to come back in. Instead of adding an extra piece of drip rail or having to figure out how to tape or rivet something onto the trailer, we actually designed a separate door jamb that has that drip rail built into it, so it's clean. I mean,
Yep, absolutely. And I feel like, especially up here in Colorado, I mean, this morning it's a little chilly. You know, we get a little bit of moisture overnight, and it can freeze, but it'll warm back up. So we're gonna have a lot of that moisture coming off of roofs. You know, maybe it's just condensation coming off the top. I mean, it can happen. I mean, we've seen it at Stock Show. We've got a desk where frost will be on top, and boy, that frost will stay there for quite a while. We'll have a heater underneath there, so that insulated roof is legit. I mean, it's amazing. But on the side rails, when that, you know, sun hits this aluminum, that's when that stuff tries to come off, and that's why it is important, because I don't want these doors freezing up and trying to get them open, because of, you know, that drip rail is going to keep that moisture away from it.
Right. So we've got the weather stripping on the door, which is going to seal on a door jamb, so when that door is closed, it's not exposed to the sunlight or the weather. Other companies do it opposite, so but over time that's going to get it's going to decay faster than having it on the door where it's closed up. Another thing about our design is that we've got an adjustable striker plate on all of our doors. That's a stainless steel striker plate, 2 adjustment screws, simple Phillips screwdriver. So I mean, all these are going to work great when they're brand new. We want this trailer to be able to be serviced 3, 5, 10, 15 years down the road, and doors still work. I mean, a door is something you use every time you use the trailer. I mean, after you hook up, plug in the lights, you're in your tack room, you're dropping feed doors, you're in back doors, so doors have to function every time.
Absolutely. So there's so many of these. I'm gonna start at the front, Ben. I'll let you start at the back. We'll shut these, because then we want to show you all these manger doors on this trailer. So now, as you can see, we've got all those shut up. Let me get this tack door shut here, but as you can see, I mean, you have 5 big access points into these mangers here. So again, plenty of storage on this trailer.
Yep.
You know, you got the bigger one towards the back, you got some smaller ones, obviously, because we're dealing with wheel wells here, and then some larger ones as we work forward too. So
right, and then at every door you've got a light with its own switch you can turn on at night. You know, again, there's things that can still be added to this if the customer wants to add a brush tray to these doors.
Yes.
If you want to add hooks on the walls, some utility hooks, if you need to hang extension cords, hoses, leg wraps, all those things, we can help you organize that trailer too through your service department.
So again, plenty of storage on this trailer. Now, we'll work forward here to the trainer tack. And again, this, in my opinion, is just kind of one more thing that tops this trailer off.
Yeah.
You can carry a lot of tack in this trailer.
Yeah, I mean, you've got 8 horses and you've got 12 saddle racks here. But again, you're a trainer, you're hauling customers' tack, you got your work saddle, your show saddle, customer saddles, you need the space. And all these are adjustable. That's another Cimarron standard. You've got 2 nuts there to loosen up per saddle rack. You can adjust these up and down. We could add a 5th one to each one of these. The blanket poles, they can all be adjusted or removed or added to there. So a lot of versatility here, a lot of storage, and it's all convenient, right? You can step on here, grab a saddle, grab bridles, whatever you need without in and out all the time. I love these closet tacks, these trainer tacks, where you can just get to anything without climbing in and out of the trailer. Again, putting that wall down the center, we've been able to organize that space so much.
And like how you said, yeah, we can adjust these any way we want. We can add more, but you have the ability. I mean, if you wanted to mix this up, you wanted to put, you know, a blanket pole underneath a saddle rack, or kind of the sky's the limit right here for you.
It really is. That track is built into that wall, and the bolts and the nuts slide up and down in that. Again, you can adjust this. You can add more to it, whatever fits your needs. And even a couple years down the road, if you need to add more components to this, you can.
Absolutely.
Right? If you use the trailer for a couple years or 6 months and want to add more saddle racks or rearrange it, that's, you know, we're big on versatility and convenience.
And then again, our fold-up steps. You know, Ben showed you how easy it is. You know, it's just a nice transition from going to the ground. You know, we do have this trailer aired up right now, so it's actually 2.5 inches probably higher than it would be if we lower it. And I'm a big fan of, and just, you know, passing along to customers saying, when you go to unload horses or whatever livestock on these air ride trailers, dump the air, everything's lower. Our ramp isn't as steep. You know, everything's lower to the ground here as well, so it's really convenient and easy to get to.
For sure. Yeah, but I do the same thing, dump that air out. You know, on this door, we've got these overlapping doors. You've got a 7-foot opening here with both doors open. If you're a cutter or rainer and going to a day show, maybe you're not stalling, but you're working out of the trailer.
Yes.
It's awesome to have your horses tied right here, get to any tack you need. But if you're moving into a show at a fairgrounds for a week or 2 weeks, when you pull up on that sidewalk, you've got all your tack right here to get to.
Absolutely.
Very convenient. We've got the dual latches here, heavy duty. We build these latches in-house, this whole mechanism, but just close that door and it's locked. That 2-point latch. And again, you've got the butterfly and your combination lock.
Yep, and a combination lock, absolutely. So again, just send somebody to the trailer. As long as they got the code, they can get in there.
Right.
So before we work too far forward, we talked about it, triple axle air ride. Now, on these triple axles, turning them can be a little bit trickier, especially when you get into the warm summer months on this asphalt. Asphalt's not very forgiving. It wants to kind of grab your tires. So when we're turning triple axles, it's a little bit tougher. You need a little bit more real estate.
Yeah.
It puts a little bit more stress on our tires and, I mean, just axles and hubs. I mean, it just does. They pull phenomenal, but that's kind of been the one con to a triple.
That's always been the hang up with people not wanting a triple axle, is how to turn them when you get in tight spots, because then you've got the chance to maybe mess up your axles or cut that front tire on a curb or something. But you've got a solution here at Transwest.
We do. So this is something we do here at Transwest, is we actually put an air dump on our back axle. Now, we're not physically going to pick the wheel and tire up off the ground itself, but what we're going to do is we're going to shift our weight to these first two axles and their airbags. And also we move that pivot point, you know, about center here to center here. So now we can turn this trailer around like we would a tandem. And that back wheel is just going to basically skate on the ground.
When you're talking about that air dump, if people are familiar with semis, they've got an air lift.
Yes.
We're not actually lifting it, you're just taking the air pressure out of those bags in that back axle.
Out of that bag
so
on the back axle.
Just floating back there.
Yep, absolutely. So again, it'll shift everything forward. You can crank this trailer around like a tandem. Again, we've done some videos with a triple with the air dump. I know our GM Andrew, he runs a tandem spread, and he's got an air dump on his back axle, and where we're standing, he turned a 36-foot on the floor head-to-head trailer in his dually 1-ton around in here on a dime. I mean, it was amazing to watch. But you get that ability. So how it operates, again, we bring the trailer here to Transwest. On these bigger trailers, we align every single one of them. But then what we do is on this one here, we put that air dump. And how to operate it, it's real simple. We've actually got a remote control that you can actually sit in the driver's seat of the pickup and just hit this on and off. And we've actually gone in, we put an indicator light right up here on the gooseneck, so it will tell us whether or not we have dumped the air out. So it's off right now because we have air to all three axles. I'm going to go ahead and I hit the on button, and it's actually pulling air from that back bag.
You can hear that air going out.
You can hear it. Now I've got the compressor turned off right now. I just don't want it to mess with our audio. But what it would do is kick on for a minute because we're compensating for that. I can crank this trailer around. I've got the indicator light. I can see it from the driver's seat. I get turned how I want, and all I do is I hit off. It'll turn this on. Compressor will kick on. It puts air to that back axle, and you go. It is that simple.
Pretty cool.
And again, that's something we do here exclusively at Transwest. So we like to bring these big trailers in, put them on our alignment machine, and then on these triples and these air ride systems, go ahead and add that. So again, that was a lot. This trailer has a lot on it.
Trailer has a lot.
It is such a cool trailer. I want to give you the stock number just for reference, in case you're interested in it. And I'm very sorry to tell you, this one is already sold, but we can order you a trailer. You want it in a 6-horse, a 7-horse, a 10-horse. You want to make your own changes and put your own touch on it, you absolutely can. The stock number is 5N210215. It is a 2022 Cimarron Norstar 8-horse gooseneck air ride triple axle trailer. And that is the one thing I always say about you guys is, and us here at Transwest, is we never build a standard trailer.
No,
it is a fingerprint. We kind of we will put an option on about everything we possibly have.
Yeah, but that's what makes it fun and makes it unique, and, and being able to build these trailers that are highly functional and fit customers' needs.
Absolutely. So we appreciate you tuning in this morning. We appreciate Ben helping us walk through this.
It's been fun to be here.
Give us a call. Anybody on the sales team can help you out. Our number is 303-684-3400. Thanks for tuning in. Have a good day.